Hi guys, Scott here today to bring you another PE video. Today our focus is tennis skills and drills. Now for tennis, the equipment you'll need will be a bat or a tennis racket if you have one. Okay, any type of bat, could be a plastic bat, could be a tennis racket like mine here, and a tennis ball or a sort of a ball that will bounce a decent amount. So it could be a softer ball, it could be a harder ball, but a ball that will work appropriately with your bat. Okay. For our warm up, we're not going to use the equipment, so just place that to the side. We're going to do a little pulse raiser just to warm ourselves up. So we're going to do a little bit of running, bit of moving, and then a little bit of stretching at the end. Okay. So get yourselves ready. Find your space. So the space that you're using, a couple of meters either side of you. Make sure you've got a bit of room to move around. Alright, you can use this in your front room if you've got a bit enough space, maybe your garden if the weather's dry, okay, if you're in school you'll have a little space that you can use. So some little space, similar sort of size to my cone area. You don't need cones if you don't have them, but if you can use, maybe instead of cones you could use socks, shoes, water bottles, something that can mark out an area. That will be really helpful in future skills and drills. Alright, are we ready guys? We're going to start off with a bit of a jog. Can we get our knees nice and high? Bring your knees up to your chest if you can, a little bit higher. Knees up a bit higher. Okay, we're going to do heel flicks, so put your hands behind your back. Can you flick and hit your hands? Flicking your heels up. Try to touch your hands with your feet. Going to go back to a jog on the spot. We need to warm ourselves up, ready for our skills and drills. We do some star jumps now, guys. Make sure our arms and legs go out at the same time. So out, in, out, in, out, in. Back to a jog. Try and keep moving for the whole of our warm up so that we warm up nice and properly. Okay, we're going to jump up. See if we can jump. And you keep both feet together. Make sure when we land, we bend our knees slightly. Okay, back to our jog. And relax, guys. Okay, we've warmed ourselves up a little bit, not too long, okay, because we're not doing a huge amount of running around in our skills and drills, but we do need to make sure that we stretch. So, in your space, can you stretch both of your arms to the sky? Making sure we keep our arms nice and straight. Okay, good. Hold one hand and just go across your body. Putting your hand so you can see the palm of my hand. Put your arm behind your hand and just stretch your arm across your body. We're using our arms a lot today, so it's really important that we stretch our arms out. Shake off your arm, and the other arm, same thing. It's important we stretch our legs as well, because we are doing a bit of moving around. So if you can point your heel up, point your toes up to the sky, stretch your leg out. Be able to feel it down the back of your leg. And swap legs. Same again. Make sure your toes are pointing to the sky. And you'll be able to feel it on the back of your leg. Okay, last one guys, we're going to hold our arms out to the sides and we're going to make little circles and we're going to do different size balls to determine how big those circles are going to be. So we're going to start off with ping pong ball, table tennis ball, okay? So nice small circles. Nice small circles. This will start to ache after a little bit, so try and do it for as long as you can. This time we're going to do football size circles. Trying to hold your arms out nice and straight. This is a good way to strengthen our muscles so that we can use our arms for longer periods of time. Going to go to beach ball, sorry. big beach balls. Okay, good. Try and keep going for as long as you can. Back to footballs. My arms are starting to get achy as well. Last few seconds, back to table tennis balls, back to ping pong balls. Oh, hot arms will be aching now. And relax. So I want you guys now to just shake off your arms, shake off your legs. Okay, now we are ready to go into our tennis skills and drills. Good work guys, well done. Okay guys, for our first drill, we're going to keep it nice and simple. Alright, we're going to have a look at our balance and trying to keep our balance and our coordination to be able to keep our tennis ball on our racket. Okay, so we've got a couple of different scenarios and demonstrations, and I've got a challenge for you in our third go at the end. Alright, so using your space, I want you to go to the corner of one of your cones or whatever you're using as equipment to just mark out your space. Racket in one hand, so preferably your strong hand, whichever you feel more comfortable with, and the tennis ball just placed on the top. Now when we hold our racket, okay, what I would like you to do is I'd like your thumb, okay, if you can see that, your thumb to go down the front of the racket and then your fingers to wrap around the back and around the side. So you've got a nice tight grip. For this activity, that's the best grip for us to use. Okay, I'll show you that again. Finger down the front, pointing to the head of the racket, and the fingers going around the outside, around the back and the around the side. Alright? So, on the corner of the cone, all I want us to do, place your ball on top of your racket, and we're going to go to each cone, going around the cone, trying to make sure our ball stays on our racket. I'd like you to use two hands to start with. Start off as fast or as slow as you'd like to go. Alright, if you're happy and your ball stays still when you're going slow, go a little bit faster. Okay? So our job is to try and keep that ball on our racket, a little bit like an egg and spoon race. Those of you who've done the egg and spoon race, try and concentrate on this ball, keeping the ball on our racket. Okay? So we've got two hands, use the second hand as a support, and we've made it. Alright? Excellent stuff. Our second go, same thing. This time, I'd like you to only hold the racket with one hand. Okay? So slightly harder, you haven't got that support hand, in case perhaps your strong hand you lose a bit of grip or lose a bit of concentration. So one hand, and I'd like you to put the other hand behind your back. Alright? Same again, we're going to go in a zigzag. So ball on top and hand behind your back, off we go. Can we keep that ball as still as we can? So we're focusing on the ball, but we need to be aware of where we're walking to as well. Alright? Good. Speed up if you feel comfortable. Make sure you keep that ball on the racket though. Don't go too fast. And I've made it. Fantastic. Now, nice and simple, alright? If our ball does fall off, don't worry too much, okay? Just slow yourself down when you have another go at it, alright? And make sure you're comfortable with the ball staying on our racket so that we're able to move in and out of our cones really, really well, okay? Fantastic stuff, guys. For our challenge, okay, I'd like you to have a go at trying to balance the ball without it touching the edge of our racket. Now, if you've got a bat that isn't a tennis racket, so it might not have a ridge on it, okay? Just have a go at keeping it on the racket, alright? Some of you might not have that ridge to sort of stop it from falling off, but if you do, can you try and balance the ball without it touching the edge? So imagine that edge of the racket is like the lava, alright? Or it's some electric shock, alright? So you're trying to stay in the middle to avoid it touching the edge, alright? That's your challenge if you have a go at the other two. Good stuff, guys. Well done. Have a go at that. Fantastic.
Hi guys, it's Kyle here, ready to teach you some drills from Key Stage 2 tennis. If you have a tennis racket at home, perfect, can you grab it please with a tennis ball? If you don't, try and find any bat you have. A table tennis bat will work, anything what you can balance a ball on. Firstly, to hold the tennis racket, you want to put your thumb pointing towards the head of the racket up the top, and you want to wrap your fingers around just like this. Okay, I'd like you to go to the corner of your space and put the tennis ball on the racket and hold one hand to the racket. For now, I would like you to use the hand you write with, your stronger hand, to hold the racket, and put the other hand behind your back. When you're ready, I would just like you to walk to your next cone, balancing the ball very gently on the middle of your racket. If it's hard to balance, maybe try and walk a bit slower, but if you're comfortable, walk a bit faster. When you get to the end of the cone, try and flick the ball up in the air and go around the cone again. I'd like to do this to all the cones, so I'm now going to this cone, where I'm just going to flick it up and go around the cone again. And for the last cone. Great work, guys. Hold the ball still. And I'd now like you to try and hold the racket in your other hand. So the hand you were just using, I was just using my right hand. I'm now going to hold it in my left hand. I'm going to make sure I put my thumb around the top, pointing to the head of the racket, and wrap my fingers around again like this. We're going to do the same thing. So when we get to each cone, we're going to flick the ball in the air and try and catch it. If it's going out of control and you drop it, don't worry, just pick it back up and try and slowly and more control. Ready, guys? So to the first game, and flip. To the second game. This one should be a little bit harder because it's a hand we don't normally use. It's great that we use both hands when playing sport. And flip, and to the last game. And there we go. Hold your racket still, guys. Right guys, for our second drill of the day, we are going to play a game called the frying pan. So we are going to pretend that our racket is like a frying pan. We're going to hold it the same way as we have before, with our thumbs over the top, facing the front just like this, and our fingers wrapped around the racket. So, we are going to imagine our tennis ball is a pancake. And what we're going to do is with one hand on it, we're going to flip it up and catch it again, just like a pancake, okay? The important things to remember is that our tennis ball or pancake does not go above our eye level. So we just a little flick. The second one is we don't want it bouncing out of the frying pan. So when we catch our pancake in the frying pan, we're going to bend our knees and catch it gently, okay? So if we start on one corner, we're just going to flip our pancake as we walk slowly. And then we're going to go across to the other cones. If you find it quite difficult, just walk a bit slower, okay? There's no rush. Okay, should we try it together now, guys? Go back to the first cone, in your strong hand, the hand you write with. We're just going to put our frying pan in our hand with the pancake in it. We're just going to walk slowly, remembering to bend our knees to catch the pancake. Got it, guys, keep going. If you drop your pancake, that's okay. For a little bit of a challenge, guys, we are going to try it in our other hand, okay? So I'm now going to use my left hand, I just used my right hand. We are going to put our thumb again around the front, facing the top of the racket, and wrap our fingers around. It might be a bit more difficult with your left hand, so we might have to go a tiny bit slower, but that's okay. So, ready? And round it goes. And to the last one. Awesome work, guys. Hold still. If you want to give that another go, feel free to pause the video and rewind. Awesome work. Right guys, for our final couple of drills, we're going to play a game of keeping the ball bouncing on our tennis racket. So, I would like you to hold your tennis racket in the hand you prefer, the hand you feel most comfortable with. For me, that's my right hand. That's the one I write with and I hold a pen and pencil with. So when it's in that hand, same again, you're going to put your thumb on the front, facing towards the top of the racket, and wrap your fingers around the side. So what I would like you to do is start off at the corner, and to start, we're just going to bounce the ball all the time, up and down. Okay? Can everyone try that with me for a few seconds? Perfect, guys. Okay, I would now like us to bounce the ball as we walk around. I'll give you a little demonstration because it's quite difficult. So we're going to bounce the ball, and once we get to the cone, if you can, try and go around the cone whilst it's still bouncing. If you find that a bit difficult, just bounce the cone, stop it, and then go around. Okay? And we'll keep going. Do it going, keep on bouncing it, and around. Like I said, if it's a bit difficult for you, just stop it, go around, and bounce. Should we try that together, guys? Okay, let's all go to a corner of our area. Hold the tennis racket with our thumb facing the front and our fingers wrapped around. And off we go, guys. If you're finding it difficult, just slow down and walk a bit slower. Well done, guys. Around the cones. And final one now. And when you're done, guys, hold your ball still. Perfect. Okay, similar to the last one we did, we're now going to try it bouncing downwards. Okay, a bit more difficult. The key thing to remember, guys, is that we don't want to bounce it too high. But if we hit it really hard, it's quite hard to control. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend our legs and just bounce it gently as we walk like that. Okay, can we all try that with me now? Perfect. And now we're going to do it whilst walking. Are we ready, guys? Okay, let's go. And around the cone. And around the cone. If you're struggling, guys, just try and walk slower or bounce a bit lower. And last one now, guys. And when you're done, hold the ball still. Perfect, guys. Awesome work. If you'd like to give it another go, pause the video and revisit from the start. But great work, guys. Right, guys, for our final challenge of this skills section, we are going to take the racket in our strong hand. I'm going to use my right hand, as that's the one I write with. We're going to put our thumb again around the front of the racket, facing the head, and wrap our fingers around. And we're going to play a game called Hot Potato. Okay, so in Hot Potato, we're going to put our tennis ball on our racket, but we're not allowed to keep our racket still. So when we're walking, I'd like us to move our racket side to side like this, moving our wrist. Just like this. It might be a bit hard, and if it falls off, that's okay. Just pick the ball back up and put back on and try again. When we get to a cone, we can do one of two things. If we have a tennis racket like I do, I'd like us to try and park the car. That means we need the tennis ball to roll down our racket and stay in this little groove, just like this. If you don't have a racket and you're using something else, maybe like a table tennis bat, that's okay. We're just going to get to the end, and when we get to a cone, we're just going to flick it up and bounce it and control it, okay? Once it's controlled, we can move again. It's important that we get the ball under control first. Should we try it together, guys? Okay, so we're going to start on one cone. And go. Moving the racket all the time. If you're finding it a bit difficult, you can just slow down a bit. And park the car and go to the next cone. Okay, really focus on moving the ball all the time. If you've got to walk a bit slower, that's okay. Well then, guys, keep going. Awesome work, guys, keep it up. And the final one. Oh, I'm going to have to walk slowly, it's getting difficult now. And then you're going to hold the ball still. If you enjoyed enjoyed that game of Hot Potato and want to play it again, just pause the video and go back to the front, and I'll see you for the next challenge. Good work, guys.